Okay, let's dive into this because this is a fascinating story about a completely accidental discovery. I mean, what happens when a simple tool, one that's just designed to make your emails sound a little nicer, turns out to be this surprisingly powerful shield for your digital privacy?
This is the kind of raw, unfiltered emotion we pour into our private messages every single day. Our texts are like our digital diary, our confession booths, our place to just vent. And, well, more and more, all of that is being read by algorithms.
But what if you could hide those feelings? Not by deleting your words, but by just subtly cloaking them. What if you could actually scramble the emotional signal, make it unreadable to the very AIs that are designed to analyze you? That's the huge question we're digging into today.
So, to really get the solution, we first have to understand the problem. And the problem is, AI has gotten incredibly good at reading between the lines. It can pick up on joy, sadness, and especially anger, often with, frankly, terrifying accuracy. Researchers actually have a name for this, an emotion inference attack. It sounds super technical, but it's really a simple and kind of scary idea. It's just using AI to figure out how you're feeling from your texts and then using that knowledge against you. And listen, this isn't some far-off sci-fi threat. This stuff can be used right now for emotional manipulation, to exploit people when they're at their most vulnerable, or even to fine-tune misinformation campaigns to make them hit harder. Your private feelings can literally become a weapon against you. But what if the tool to fight back was already sitting right there on your phone? In a brand new research paper, a group of computer scientists stumbled upon a potential defense in a very unexpected place: Apple's latest AI features. So Apple Intelligence rolled out these new writing tools. On the surface, they're pretty simple, right? You can take a message and make it sound more friendly or more professional. But what researchers at Southern Illinois University found was this hidden side effect, one with huge privacy implications. This is a perfect illustration of how it works. So take this very direct, very emotional text from the study. The original is, "I feel bitchy but not defeated yet." Okay, run it through the professional tool and it becomes, "Although I am experiencing some frustration, I have not yet succumbed to defeat." The friendly tool turns it into, "I'm feeling a bit frustrated, but I'm not giving up." See, the core meaning is still there, but that raw emotional intensity, it's been completely transformed. So naturally, this led the researchers to a huge question. Could this simple little tone shifter act as a kind of emotional camouflage? Could it actually hide your true feelings from a prying AI? Well, to find out, they designed a kind of digital showdown. And this is where it gets really cool. The researchers basically pitted AI against AI to see if Apple's tools could actually work as a privacy defense. It was a really carefully designed digital stress test. So how do you even test something like this? Well, they laid out this brilliant 4-step plan. Step 1, you get the raw material, thousands of texts that are already labeled with an emotion. Step 2, you run all those texts through Apple's different writing tools to create disguised versions. Step 3, you build your villain, an attacker AI that's been trained to be an expert emotion detector. And then the final step, you unleash the attacker on the disguised texts and see if the cloak actually worked. And building that attacker AI is a whole process. They didn't just tell it to go find emotions. They had to train it. They fed it thousands and thousands of examples, saying, "This text means anger. This one means sadness," over and over and over, until the AI became an absolute expert at spotting those emotional patterns. The big question, of course, was whether Apple's simple disguise could fool this expert. So, the moment of truth. Did Apple's accidental privacy shield actually work? Let's get to the results and see how this whole thing played out. And the answer was a huge, resounding yes. The tools were remarkably effective at cloaking the emotional content of a message. It was almost like making the user's feelings invisible to the AI. Okay, just look at the data for anger. That's one of the easiest emotions for an AI to spot. On the original raw text, one of the attacker models had 100% accuracy. It never missed. But after that same text was run through the friendly tool, its accuracy plummeted to just 40%. The professional tool dropped it down to 60%. It's like the AI suddenly needed reading glasses. I mean, the researchers themselves put it pretty bluntly. They wrote that the AI model's performance degrades drastically. That's not a small change. That is a fundamental breakdown in the AI's ability to do its job. But it wasn't a perfect magic trick for every single emotion. Take joy, for instance. The attacker AI was about 92% accurate on the original text. After using the friendly tool, its accuracy only dropped to around 77%. So, still a big decrease for sure, but it just goes to show that some emotions are a little harder to cloak than others.
So the crucial takeaway here is that not all of these tools were created equal. The friendly and professional settings, they were by far the best at scrambling those emotional signals. But the concise tool, which really just shortens the text, it had almost no effect at all. It's the tonal shift that's doing the heavy lifting for privacy.
But look, this is more than just some neat finding in a research paper. It really points to a whole new way of thinking about privacy in the age of AI, one where your own device becomes your first line of defense, your own personal fortress. I mean, just think about the possibilities here. Your phone could have adaptive privacy filters that you could dial up or down depending on who you're talking to. AI assistants like Siri could have privacy settings that let you control just how much emotional info you're leaking. It's a really powerful, user-centric way to think about privacy. And as the researchers wrap up, they make it clear this isn't just about one feature on one phone. This kind of study lays the foundation for building privacy directly into the AI systems we use every single day, giving us back control over our own emotional data. And that really leaves us with a fascinating final thought to chew on. We're heading into an era where AI helps us write our emails, our messages, basically our very thoughts. And the great irony might just be that we'll need that very same AI to act as our shield, protecting our inner worlds from the digital world that it helped create.